I am Fancy MJ, licensed master social worker, doctoral student candidate to graduate from the doctoral program. And tonight, we're going to be talking about mental health and aesthetics because that is what my entire capstone project is about. Granted, we're not going to be talking about my capstone, and I'm also not going to practice my presentation for you all just yet. We are going to be talking about that tonight. I'm sorry if I'm a bit rushed. I am going to have to hurry off because, as you guys can see, I got to do my hair. I got to pack because I'm getting ready to go on a little trippy trip. And I'm supposed to be driving out tonight, but we're going to see. It's probably going to be really late tonight or very early in the morning. So I'm going to have to go ahead and dive in on our topic for tonight. Don't sue me if it's not an entire hour because, as I said, I am in a bit of a time crunch. I would definitely be safe. I'm not driving all the way. I'm just driving an hour and a half to catch a ride to where I'm actually going. I'll let y'all know where I'm going at a later time. I will be also getting some content, so y'all make sure to head over to my shorts to see my content because I will have some things for you eventually from my vacation. So, have any of you ever changed your room around, changed your clothes, like your sense of style, um, and you suddenly just like felt different? Like curated your social media feed, and then you just started feeling different. That is how aesthetics can impact your mental health. Do you all believe that aesthetics can actually affect our mental health? Hi, Timmy. Do you all believe that aesthetics can affect our mental health? I'm doing well. How are you? It is my strong belief that aesthetics can impact and affect your mental health. Aesthetics is just defined as visual identity, style, environment, all around vibe, right? And we already discussed what mental health is: emotional, psychological, and social well-being. I need to preface this by saying this is not a therapy session. This is not therapy. This is not medical advice. It is about awareness, self-expression, and reflection only. So, as I said, changing your aesthetic, changing how you look, curating your environment to look a certain way can all impact and affect your mental health. Your mood can give you all sorts of feelings. For me, the way that I use aesthetics to impact my mental health is doing my makeup, dressing up, cleaning up my space, organizing. That is how I'm able to positively impact my mental health using aesthetics. So, personal aesthetics, fashion styles, minimalist, goth, streetwear, clean girl, luxury, soft era, all of those things, all of those aesthetics that we see all over social media all the time fall into your personal aesthetic. Social media feeds and curation falls into your personal aesthetic. For me, I love to see positivity on my social media feed. I follow a lot of therapy content. I follow a lot of positive, uplifting content, positive affirmations. That's what I see a lot of on my feed. I curated it that way because that's what I like to see. Personal branding. So people who are using their self as they brand. That is in aesthetic. Um However you feel best to show up in whatever space is your personal brand. Look at me right now. Hair not done, all on live. Because I encourage, thank you, Isabel, because I encourage coming as you are, being yourself, being happy and comfortable in your skin. If you go through my content on my YouTube channel, you will see a lot of criticism in my comments, a lot of people trash talking how I look in my comments. That does not bother me. I'm very comfortable in my own skin. I'm very comfortable with how I look. I like how I look. So stuff like that doesn't bother me, which is also why I am able to just show up as I am. I don't always have to be completely perfect, makeup done, and all the whole nine, you know? And the same way that I show up online is how I show up in my personal life. My friends will tell you I will be looking busted, 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 and come to the door smiling, showing all 32, happy as a clam. And they like, girl, why is you looking crazy? Listen, comfort will be my thing every time. Your environmental aesthetics, right? So room decor, how you decorate your home, lighting, the warm versus cool tones, cleanliness, organized versus chaos. Okay? Some people have organized chaos. So whatever works for you. Nature elements as well. So for some people, environmental aesthetics involve planting outside, planting flowers, trees, gardening, whatever they want their yard to look like is something that impacts them, helps them to regulate stress at times, and helps them to feel better. Some people love sitting outside in their yard because they have turned their yard into their sanctuary. What aesthetic do you feel most drawn to right now? So that is a question for you all. Let me know in the comments, what aesthetics are you all feeling most drawn to right now? Personal aesthetics, environmental aesthetics, a mix of both, and what aesthetic you're choosing to go with. So is your fashion style streetwear, clean? Is your light and warm, cool? Do you like cleanly organization, or do you like organized chaos? Do you just like chaos? Let us know in the comments. The positive impacts that aesthetics can have on mental health look like self-expression. So, as I said, I come as I am because I'm comfortable. I'm confident in who I am. Self-expression builds confidence. Conquering Lion said a mix of both. Fashion, my lighting is cool inside and outdoors. I prefer white daylight. Yes, I understand that. That is very relaxing, so I feel it. But like I was saying, aesthetics can have a positive impact on your mental health through your sense of identity. So self-expression builds confidence. Being able to freely express yourself, show up the way that you would like to in whatever space you're in, builds your confidence. It helps you to feel better about yourself, like you are capable, like you are accepted. And once you build that confidence to a certain level, even in times where you face rejection, that confidence will be so strong, it won't hit you as hard. It won't negatively impact you to the point of detriment. And then there's also aesthetic exploration. So, as we all know and see all online, Kim Kardashian gets a lot of pushback from the media about how she allows her oldest daughter, Northwest, with Kanye West, how she allows her to express herself. So North is, I think, like 11 or 12 years old, and she has piercings on her fingers. She wears fake piercings, fake septum piercings, fake piercings on her face. She colors her hair. She has some funky grills, and she dresses just however her heart desires. Northwest is so talented and she has so much personality, and Kim allows her the freedom to express herself however she wants to, because that aesthetic exploration will lead to self discovery. She's just figuring out who she is. She's a child. Children play dress up all the time. I know I did when I was a child. And children are also always exploring because they're trying to figure the world out. They're trying to figure out what their place is and who they are and who they want to be in the world. So I personally don't see anything wrong with what Northwest is doing and how Kim is allowing her to freely express herself, simply because I know that's going to build her confidence. That's going to lead to a more self-aware, solid, confident person later in life. She will have a very strong sense of self, a very strong sense of identity, which Kim tells us she already has. And I can believe it, because if you've ever watched their show or any of like their online stuff, she has a very strong personality. North has a very strong personality. So I'm not surprised with all the exploring she's doing aesthetic wise, even with like Halloween and dressing up as different people. It all aligns with exploring and discovering who you are and who you want to be in the world. Believe it or not, emotional regulation is also a positive impact that aesthetics can have on mental health. So colors and mood go hand in hand. Soft neutrals versus bold colors. So like we were just talking about concerning the light, and some lighting, some lighting allows you to feel calm, allows you to feel a sense of peace, whereas other lighting may give you a upbeat vibe, have you wanting to get up, move around, dance, different things like that. Light and calmness can go hand in hand. The soft lighting just kind of eases your brain, brings your body into a relaxed state. Music and atmosphere. Everybody loves at least one song. I'm gonna say at least one song, because I won't say everybody loves music, because maybe some people don't. But I know at least one song you gotta love. And the reason for that is because music invokes feelings, right? And music can help with setting the tone, setting the atmosphere. You go to a spa and the music is what? Soft and relaxing. They're usually playing some R&B, something very soft, something to keep you in a relaxed state. Versus you go to the club or the bar and they're usually playing upbeat music, something to get people on their feet, get people dancing, keep people engaged, right? So music and atmosphere go hand in hand with emotional regulation. You will hear people say they're feeling down, they want to go to the club, and it sounds crazy, right? Like we're all like, what? Like, who is in a downward spiral and wants to go to the club? Who's feeling down, feeling sad, and wants to go to the club? A lot of people. because that music in there is going to get them moving. It's going to start making them feel better because movement also helps you feel better. And that music makes their brain want to move, makes them want to shake off what's going on and really get in the vibe of what's happening in that atmosphere. So it can lift some people's spirits and lift some people's moods. Is that the answer for everybody? No. Some people would rather a spa where the music is going to be calming and relaxing. And that's what's going to lift their spirits. Some people may just want to be happy, so they listen to music that makes them happy and feel upbeat. For me, that I love to listen to affirmations. Tony is my girl on Apple Music. Her affirmation albums keep me in a very positive, very happy set frame of mind. Yes, Tony, my kid. Yes, you know that's my girl. Ever since you turned me on to that song she had, I think it was called No. Listen, I've been on her. I've been on her. And so keeps me very happy in a very positive, happy frame of mind. The last part that the last thing we're gonna talk about under positive impacts of aesthetics on mental health is control and stability, right? Decorating your space during chaotic times. Okay, your life is in complete disarray. You're stressed out to the max. You go home and rearrange your furniture and decorate, and all of a sudden, you feel better. You feel calmer. You feel more relaxed. The stress has melted away. You were able to control that. Whatever was stressing you out may have been out of your control. But how you decorate your home is 100% in your control. That created stability. That allowed you to release some stress. Routines tied to aesthetic rituals. So we see all the videos in the world on YouTube concerning morning routines, night routines, journaling setups, skincare routines, hair care routines, routine. Okay, we see all the videos. Home reset videos all falls into the same thing. That's likely their routine to do that on a regular basis. And those routines, consistency and discipline breeds stability, right? So those routines are giving you a set schedule. They're giving you a time and a place that you're going to do X, Y, and Z at the same time and place each time that you're scheduled to do it. That's stability. That's stable. You have a stable schedule. That's also another thing you have control over. Control and stability oftentimes go hand in hand, but you have to be careful because there's a lot of things in life that we cannot control. And you don't want to allow the things that you can't control to disrupt your stability, right? You don't want to allow the things that you can't control to take over your mental and take over your mood and take over your emotions. That's not what you want. And so those routines help keep you grounded, help reinforce that stability, help give you back some sense of control, and thus leveling you out. Let's stay balanced, people. Let's stay balanced. Oh, great reference right here for you guys. Atomic Habits by James Clear. If you have not read that book, read that book. It talks about how structure routines emphasize uh I'm sorry, lost my train of thought, y'all. But it references how small environmental changes can influence behavior and mindset. So it talks about structure routines being used as therapeutic approaches. Okay. And that book was Atomic Habits by James Clear. Small environmental changes can influence behavior and mindset, is the theme of that book. A big portion of it is discussing how structured routines are often used as therapeutic approaches. I just wanted to reword that because I was all over the place with what I was trying to say. And so I wanted to make sure I made it very clear. And now we're going to move into the dark side when aesthetics become pressure. Because as we talked about, we see all the people with all the videos resetting their homes weekly, or morning routine, night routine, skincare routine, workout routine, all of these set schedules that sometimes are not able to be kept exactly the way we want to keep them, right? I'll give you an example from my life. I go to the gym 3 times a week in the morning at 5 a.m., right? For the past 2 weeks, I've had to reschedule my gym times. I've had to be flexible in the times and days that I could go because so much other stuff was happening in my schedule, my trainer's schedule, to where we had to be flexible and we had to pivot in order to still get done what we needed to get done. And a lot of times, whenever you have people who are doing these routines for social media, there is a comparison culture that just puts pressure to be perfect, right? Social media alone gives a lot of us that pressure to be perfect. Hence why I made it a point to always show up on social media on my pages just as I am. Do not have to be done up to the nines every time I'm on here. I cannot fall into that perfect life trap because it's unrealistic. Nobody's life is perfect. No one is perfect 24/7. I do not care how perfect their social media looks, how curated their page is to match a perfect life aesthetic. They are human, they are flawed, and things happen in everybody's life at all times. You look at people and you think because they look good or because they have a lot of money or whatever that life is gonna just what, not life on them. No, life's on everybody. Everybody goes through things. Everybody has things not go their way sometimes. It's just a part of life. Nobody is exempt. Nobody is gonna escape turmoil. Nobody is gonna escape hardships. Nobody is gonna escape disappointment. Nobody is going to escape sadness. It is a part of life, which is why you want to learn how to cope and deal with those things so that they don't become the only thing you focus on in your life. Because 9 times out of 10, there are so many other things that you could be focusing on. Platforms like Instagram, especially Instagram. TikTok, man, because TikTok will kind of let you get away with coming as you are, but Instagram wants you to be perfect. Curated lifestyles, everybody, picture perfect families, picture perfect couples. Everybody is just perfect, perfect, perfect. Perfect patties all around. It's not true. It is very false. It is very fake. And I really hate that you don't get to see the real from everybody all the time because you need that. You shouldn't be on social media comparing your life to these people because what they're showing you is curated. It's not perfect. Their life is not perfect by far, by any means. It's not perfect. And so they're being paid more than likely on social media to show up in a certain way on social media for their feed, for their page to look a certain way. And so, no, they're not going to show you the failures. No, they're not going to show you the sad times, the bad times. Why would they do that? They don't have to. But that does not mean that those times don't exist. Productivity and healing aesthetic, right? So, romanticizing mental illness. I am just, I'm going to keep it cute, but it really bothers me. Okay, it really gets under my skin, really grinds my gears, y'all. When people use mental illness as their aesthetic, okay? The depressed girl. You setting up the camera, the cry. Setting up the camera, the lay in bed and tell us you're down and you're dark and you're gloomy. And then you're editing the video, putting the dark and gloomy light in and all of this, going the extra mile to really sell this whole depressed person aesthetic. Please stop. Please stop. Stop it. It's not a joke. People who are really depressed do not appreciate that, okay? Yes, we want to destigmatize mental illness. We want to make people feel as if they're not the only people going through this, because they aren't. It's a lot of people in the world going through the same thing, but we don't want to romanticize it. Okay, we don't want to make it seem like this is a social club that we all need to be a part of. Okay, we're not gonna do that. That's too far. I don't like it. That whole sad girl aesthetic, it really bothers me. It does. I would be lying to y'all if I said it didn't bother me. It gets under my skin every time I see it. Because please go get a therapist. And if you are in therapy for that, or if you are seeking any sort of professional help for that, we still don't need to see it online. We still don't need to see you editing depressing content online telling us how depressed you are. We don't need to see that. Am I saying you can never tell somebody you're depressed? No, that's not what I'm saying. Of course, you should tell somebody and talk to somebody about it. Don't sell it as a social club for everybody to join. That's what I'm saying. The pressure to heal beautifully is not a real thing. Healing is ugly. It's ugly. It is ugly. Nothing cute about it. It's the ugly cry where the snot be running out your nose into your mouth and you can't breathe and you're heaving. That's what healing is. It's not, don't get me wrong. You can look back on the process and feel like it was beautiful to you. But what I'm saying is it's unrealistic to get online and make it seem like it's beautiful every day. You're depressed, but you gotta, and this is not to say that depressed people can't fix themselves up, okay? Because yes, depressed people can fix themselves up, and they actually should. That actually is a part of a lot of people's treatment plans if they are experiencing symptoms of depression. Part of their treatment plan could be to get up, get dressed, make themselves look good, because you look good, you feel good. But you don't want to make it seem like that's what's happening every day for a depressed person, because it's not. Some days it's hard for them to even get up out of the bed and take a shower. And so coming online with a full face of makeup, doing a sad girl aesthetic, is just, you're not even giving real sad girl. I was asked what are some signs and symptoms of depression. Signs and symptoms of depression can be changes in your sleep pattern. So maybe you're sleeping too much or you can't sleep at all. Changes in how you eat. So maybe you're not eating anything, maybe you're overeating, right? It could be loss of interest in things that you like to do over a prolonged period of time. Feelings of numbness, feelings of hopelessness. It could be, like I said, not being able to get out of your bed to bathe. Okay? Not brushing your teeth. Signs of depression can simply be isolating yourself, not talking to anybody for days, not responding to anybody's phone calls, texts, not going out with friends, social withdrawal. Those are all signs of depression. And if you are noticing more than one sign and symptom and somebody that you know, don't be afraid to talk to them about it. Don't be afraid to ask them. I'm not saying be their therapist. I'm not saying try to fix them or help, heal them. But what I'm saying is you can talk to them about it. You can also offer them resources. There are plenty of free resources, and I will be sure to link those resources in the description box below. When I finish this live, I'll update the details and I'll put that in the description box below. Some of the resources that you can reach out to, hotlines, text lines, and so forth. If you or anyone you know is experiencing signs and symptoms of depression, because it's not a game, it's not a joke, you definitely should seek help and try to help that person to get help if you're able. But yes, back to the pressure to heal beautifully. Healing is not always pretty. So that's it's not a real thing. The consumerism trap. Feeling like you need to buy your identity. You do not have to buy every new thing that come out. Everything that you see Ari buy, you ain't gotta buy. Everything you see Jada Way to buy, you ain't gotta buy. Excuse me. Ooh. But yeah, you ain't gotta buy everything that you see these people buy. Everything that you see Kim Kardashian selling, you don't have to go buy. Every time they drop a new makeup line, you don't have to go try that. And I have to tell myself every time Rihanna drops something, I don't have to buy it because, baby, I love Rihanna. I be wanting to buy it to support her. I love her. Okay. But I don't buy it all the time because, girl, it's real life. People got bills. Can't be just spending your money on all this stuff. She already a billionaire. I'm trying to get there, But yeah, like you quite literally cannot buy your identity. You cannot. Can't be bought. Has to be built brick by brick. Okay? Can't be bought. New aesthetic, new me cycles. Every time you a new you got a new aesthetic. Nothing wrong with it. Explore. Okay? Explore. Nobody's saying don't explore. But you do not have to change your whole identity every time you change your aesthetic. Okay? Looking a certain way is not correlated to your identity being a certain way. Okay? I know people think that. I know we are stereotyped based on how we look, but stereotypes are just that, stereotypes. How you look has no bearing on your identity at all. Have you ever felt pressured to look like you're thriving? Answer me that in the comments. Have you ever felt pressured to look like you're thriving? Because the pressure to thrive, especially in the day and age of social media, is so real. We see so many people that seem like they are just so rich and doing so good in life. And who doesn't want to live good, be happy, and have a bunch of money to be able to do whatever they want to do? We all want that. Okay? We all want that. We all want to be able to live comfortably. But like I said, you can't work it. Like, it's just that pressure is not that pressure is not something that you just got that you should lean into all the time or that you should just completely focus on all the time, because it's just unrealistic to always be thriving. You need rest periods. Okay? Life is a balance. Life is full of ups and downs, ebb and flow of life. Okay? You're not going to always be thriving. You're not. There's going to be times where things are going slower than others. There's going to be times where things are not moving at all. And learning to still be okay, learning to still be able to be happy in those times. That's what I challenge you all to do. In the times where you do not feel like you're thriving, you do not feel like your life is moving forward in the way that you would like to see, I challenge you all to still find happiness in those moments. Still find gratefulness, still find gratitude in those moments. It'll help you get through them a lot easier. We're going to go into practical tips. I know I'm moving through this information fast, you guys. I know. And if you have questions, feel free to put them in the comments. I'll be sure to answer everybody that I can. And if I don't answer while I'm on live, so like if you're not live with me right now and able to drop a comment, you're watching the playback later, still feel free to drop your question or comment in the comment section, and I will be sure to respond to you. Practical tips using aesthetics to support mental health. Curate, don't compare. So, like I said, I curated my timeline to show me what I like to take in, right? I didn't look at somebody else's timeline and say, oh, I gotta have that. I gotta see that. No. Self awareness, what I like, what I wanna see, what feeds me positively. That's how I curated that timeline. Unfollow accounts that trigger you. Start there. Start there. If you feel like somebody is a monitoring spirit, but you knew them your whole life and been following them your whole life, unfollow them. You do not have to follow them. You don't. As a matter of fact, when I did my social media cleanup, I unfollowed people who just wasn't active because at the time, I'm in my content creation bag. I'm trying to get paid on social media. If you are not engaging with my content, why am I following you? It's just going to keep my content stale. So, unfollow accounts that trigger you. Follow inspiration that feels realistic, right? Things that you feel like you can realistically achieve, realistically do, realistically feel day to day. That's the kind of content you should be following. You you might get lucky and become a millionaire overnight if you hit the lottery. So I won't say that you won't ever, but you're going to be very hard pressed to become a millionaire overnight. So why are you listening to content day in and day out telling you how to become a millionaire overnight? Let it go. We need stuff that feels realistic. Design a safe space. One small area in your home that feels calming. One small area in your office that feels calming. Lighting, textures, scents, all of the things that feel good to you. There are certain scents that I know when I smell them, it just like it just calms me down, gives me a boost in mood. I keep those scents in my house. Keep them in my house at all times. Yes, I need that. I need that. And so do you. At least one place in your home should be a safe space. If you're living with somebody else, it might have to be your room. Because when I was living with other people for a large period of my life, the only safe space I had was my room. I would lock myself in there. Yes, I would. So you should always have a safe space. Somewhere where you can just debrief, feel calm, be alone with your thoughts, do some self reflection. My good friend Easy did a short today where he talked about sitting still, shutting up, and doing some reflecting on your self awareness. Tap in with yourself, check in with yourself. That's it. You need that. You need that. Everybody needs that alone time to just check in with themselves. Even my extroverted people who love other people, you still need a little time to check in with you. Create an emotional reset ritual. So if Sunday is gonna be your reset day, like for me, Sunday is my reset day. Sundays, I'm doing my meal prepping for the week. I'm preparing for my week ahead. I'm getting things together. I'm resetting to go into a new week fresh and ready. A journaling corner. If you are a person who loves to journal, my cousin Ashley Rochelle does journaling pop-ups all over Charlotte. She is on YouTube. She's also on other social media platforms as Strokes of Freedom. Check her out if you love journaling. That is her thing. She has taken it and ran with it. She has literally given journaling a life of its own, honey. And so if you're into journaling, check her out. You might like what she has to offer. Journaling is a great way to reset emotionally. It's a great way to reflect. It's a great way to relieve stress. At times where I'm feeling a lot of emotions and I can't seem to shake it, it's just all just bottled up. Sometimes writing helps me. And I'm about to tell y'all something that I do not tell people about me. And don't ask me to read nothing I wrote because the answer is no. That is personal. I do not share it. But yes, I write poems, honey. I be writing. Because sometimes that's the only way for me to release whatever I'm feeling. It'll be pent up emotion. I just need to get it out. And so I'll write. And that really helps me. It helps me to just let it go. Once I write it, it's like I've been able to release and I'm able to move on. It was a purge. Digital detox, right? So sometimes you just really need a break from social media, from media, period. Sometimes you really just need a digital detox. We survived at one point in time in life without phones, the internet, or social media. I promise we will be all right. Nothing will happen. We will not perish. I promise. We'll be all right. You need a detox sometimes. You need to step away sometimes. Just for that reset. Ask, is this authentic or is this inauthentic? Is this a show? Is this a facade? Is this authentic or aspirational? Does this feel like me or does this feel like a performance? Those are just some questions to ask yourself to reflect on if you are actually showing up in your own identity, authentically yourself, or if you're performing. If you on the stage, lights, camera, action, let's go. It's nothing wrong with performing if that's what your role is. We have performers out here. Riri, Chris Brown, uh, Alicia Keys. Child, I'm just trying to name people off the top of my head. Okay? We have people out here who are performers. That's their job. That's what they get paid to do, perform. If you're not a paid performer, this is not your job, then you're not trying to make that your job. Are you showing up authentic or are you showing up to perform? Who are you performing for? Because I know for me, I'm going to be a big YouTuber. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to be a really big YouTuber. And I'm going to have, the followers and the influence and all the things. However, right now, I don't have that. Who would I be performing for? And even then, I'm not going to be performing. I'm not stepping and fetching. I'm sorry. It's going to have to be me or it's going to have to be me. That's just what it is. That's one thing that I can say that I really love about Cardi B. She been the same all the way from Love and Hip Hop, honey. The same. Now, am I saying she hasn't grown any? No, that's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is her identity, her personality, the way she shows up as herself has been maintained through the phases of her career that we've all publicly seen. Is she still a performer? Yes, she has to get on stage. She has to perform those songs. She has to get in commercials and perform whatever role she's supposed to feel in that commercial, so forth and so on. But when she is in the comfort of her own home on live, you see the same her show up the same way with the same personality that you saw on Love and Hip Hop. Mm-hmm. It's not performance. It's authentic. It's authenticity. It's her. I would like to know how many of you all's room reflects your mental state. What aesthetic makes you feel safe? Feel free to let me know in the comments. So as we come to a close, I did almost make it to an hour. Kudos to me. Um, I want to say that aesthetics can be empowering tools, but they are not substitutes for healing. Me, esthetician, a MUA, okay, love makeup, love a aesthetic, love a look, honey, love to get dressed. Will be the very one to tell you it is a tool. It does not substitute doing the inner work. You can look as good as you want to. If you don't do that inner work, the inside might not be as pretty as the outside. And that's just the truth. You don't need a perfect aesthetic to deserve peace. Show up as you are. You're still worthy and deserving of all the things. Mental health is not a brand, it is a real life thing. It has to be cared for, it has to be checked in on, it has to be fed and nourished properly. It's not a brand, it's not an aesthetic. As always, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I am going to tell you what it is. Fancy MJ signing off. Good night, my people.